We got history. Got me feeling the nostalgia when you look at me.
You know, a person who's asexual is just a person who hates sex. And I had in my head for the longest of time. But when I went and researched, it actually says that it is a quality or characteristic of having no sexual feelings or desire. So,
Yeah.
so it's not that you hate sex, but you just don't have the desire to get into anything that is sexual. So that
Yeah.
is the definition of asexuality. Yes.
But not necessarily that you don't want to be in a relationship, right?
Yes.
Because maybe for
Yes.
some people would want to connect on another level that doesn't include, like sexual intercourse, but just on an emotional and psychological level and just being there for each other and enjoying all the other things that are related to companionship, I guess, without
100%.
like the burden of sex, because sex comes with stories, sometimes,
Yeah.
so so maybe some people would not want to like engage. Yeah. Okay.
I definitely agree with you. So when
We all know there's a difference between sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, and all that. So when someone presents with both masculine and feminine, they are said to be androgynous.
androgynous.
So it can be in the physical characteristics, like maybe you're someone who's intersex, but sometimes it can be just in gender identity. Because I
Ah,
think because I think the masculine and feminine is more determined by society than us. It's not like
I
when a
agree.
child is born.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not like when a child is born, they can decide, oh, this is feminine, because I have a
Mm,
vagina,
mm.
so I will behave in this way. Society kind of tells people how they should be behaving and dressing and carrying themselves, and things like that.
Yeah, which I think is very interesting for society to determine what it is to be female or what it is to be male, or how sexuality a person should look like, because of what people know. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. They're very important point.
And the impact on mental health, right? If you think about it, so you can imagine if you are born like with male features, but you feel
Yes.
feminine. You want to dress
Mm,
feminine, and this has nothing to do with your sexuality. But now,
exactly.
how society judges you now, starts impacting on how you feel about yourself and your family and everyone around you. So we must, I think, as a society, always be cognizant of the things that we do that make other people depressed and anxious and suicidal and resort to substance abuse.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for that, Doc. Thank you.
Yes. So do you think unicorns exist?
No.
Ke ntho tsa makgowa.
No. I don't think they exist because, I mean,
Yeah.
nobody has ever said, okay, guys, I found a unicorn. This is what it looks like. This is how it must, like, I'm still waiting.
Or take a picture at least, so that we
Yes.
believe you.
Or take a picture to be like, guys, this is how a unicorn looks like. I saw one with my own eyes. So,
Yeah. I saw
look,
one go Alex. I saw a unicorn go Alexander. And this is
yeah, no,
and yeah. Right.
I cannot
Okay.
believe it.
So the next thing is like the game. Let's get
Yes,
our
yes,
audience a
yes,
bit
yes,
more
yes.
involved.
Yes, yes. Okay, guys, so we're going to play a Pictionary game. So what's going to happen is I have three things that I need to draw. Doctor has three things that she has to draw, and you guys have to guess what that item is. And we both have 20 seconds to draw. So when she draws, I'm going to give her 20 seconds. Same applies for me. She's going to give me 20 seconds, and I need to draw whatever it is that I need to draw, and you guys have to guess. And then we are going to look out for the people that have guessed right, and then the people will get some wins from the MTV Sugar team in terms of data. You will also get a follow back from them. So, Doc, do you want to go first?
Okay, yeah, I'll go. Will you time me?
I'm going to time you.
Okay. All
Starting
right.
now.
Okay.
20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time's up.
Okay. All right.
So because I am unable to see, I'm going to allow the people to see, and then you let me know if they've guessed right.
All right. Okay. Here it is, guys.
Come on, guys, tell us what you see. What do you see? What do you
Yeah.
see? What do you see?
Let's see. Let's see.
What are they saying?
Ooh, people are struggling. I think my art is really bad, but
Okay, I'm using another phone here to see. Okay, someone is saying beer. Someone's saying mug.
yes, yes. But yeah, can they say a bit more about the mug?
Sure.
What
The
could be?
mug. So, guys, it's not just the mug. There's something.
Uh,
Anyone? Coffee mug.
yes, coffee mug.
Okay, so coffee mug goes to Makalishu. I'm writing that. So when I Dr. Darcy, by sort of like asking you,
Yes.
what is the most thing that you are proud of about the queer community as a whole?
Yeah, okay. I think firstly it's the resilience, right, Mohale, because I'm very careful to not celebrate resilience because I think as a community we shouldn't be placing people under hardships just to see, how well, they will survive, afterwards. We do that to women and we start saying, "Abafazi man, you strike a rock," but like we shouldn't be striking women, in the first
True.
place. So people people are dying in our two spaces and claiming, those spaces. I'm very proud about that. The visibility you have, like, oh, he's a bit more extravagant, than everyone. People are able to come out and say, I am here, I'm here, I deserve all the love and respect, that everyone is getting. And queer people are also like hardworking. You see a lot of businesses that are popping up, like doing very well in the workplaces that may not be safe spaces, but people are there, like going all the way up to levels of directors and managers, so generally I feel like as a community, we are really representing ourselves well.
Sure. I think that's a very important point because with all that is happening in our community and all of the things that we are seeing, one would expect that we would crumble. We would not want to show ourselves out there. We would not want to keep our heads high because of the things that are happening to us. And more than anything, I think maybe people would expect us to live in a lot of fear and not our voices that we have to advocate for who we are and for the rights that really belong to us. That is a very important point.
And not that the fear doesn't exist when I'm Mohale, because because that the other work that I do, the queer well work, where we address the mental health issues of the queer community. People are anxious, people are scared. You can imagine if you're living in a township and then down the street another queer person was killed. You live in fear. You obviously maybe cannot people and not show yourself because there's still livelihoods. There's still income to be made. You still need to go to school. You still need to go to work and things like that. But it's the situation is really hard for many of the members of our community.
Very true. Sure. Wow. And I think more than anything, like you were saying, that the situation is hard, but we always have to remind ourselves that if we're going to keep quiet and sit in our shells and not say anything, it's not going to change anything. For us to have that change, we need to keep on using the voices that we have to speak against ills.
Yeah, like a friend of mine likes saying, we are who we have been waiting for. If we don't raise our voices, if we don't say anything, things will not change. We need to go into these spaces, whether it be corporate, whether it be schools, healthcare spaces, government, and just speak about people's rights to access services, people's rights to access, love and care, and just be safe members of our community.
Wow. No, that's a very important point. Which actually brings me to ask you.
I told you you're gonna expose my age.
No. I mean, when I look at I used to watch Pride on television when I was young because it would be
Yes.
broadcasted on your and
Yes.
advocate for on that particular day.
Yeah, like I say, because I think the Pride Day is more about visibility than anything. Now I'm part of the committee that organizes Soweto Pride, because we
Mm,
go into like the actual township where some of these atrocious crimes are happening and saying, we are here. There's more of us. We are your neighbors. We are your kids. We are your cousins. We are your relatives. And we bleed like you bleed. Like, let's talk about this, because I really believe sometimes homophobia is based out of fear and just lack of knowledge more than anything. So we shouldn't shy away from having conversations, with our communities. When we come out to our parents, it's a chance to educate them, as well, because I found that when I came out to my parents, their dissatisfaction with it was more around the fear of what people would say about them,
mm,
in the church, in the community, but also fearing how the community is going to treat me. Am I going to be the next one that gets killed? Our parents love us, so because of that, they fear for us, so we need to be engaging them. But as we come out, we need to show them that we are the same old kids that they know, that are
yes.
respect,
Hey,
that
yeah.
are respect. Nothing is changing. You are still my mom. I'm your child. I will not do things that I would not normally do, around you, just because now I am queer. And with time, they get to understand that there is really nothing to it, more than just, sexuality or just gender expression.
Sure. Wow. Very, very, very important. And I
Mm.
think more than anything, it's those particular conversations that we need to have, with a lot of people that are, in the closet, who are afraid to come out, or who don't even know how to come out, because, they're afraid of the stigma that goes with coming out, and what people
Mm.
will think about them, or how, they'll be treated by their families, by their peers, or whatever the case might be. But I think the more we have those conversations and give people our experiences of how it was when we came out, and that nothing has
Mm.
changed. Your mom is still
Yes.
your mom, family is still the same. It's just that you coming out is you wanting to be comfortable in your own skin and wanting to live your life freely. So I think, yeah,
Yeah.
that is a very important one.
Mm. Yeah, and the role that media plays, I think back then, like that involved alcoholism, and people are doing, there's promiscuity, there's doing that, there's doing that. So media
Mm,
becomes very responsible as a vehicle, like, to
true.
educate society, where they just show positive stories with queer people. They show queer people in workplaces, in business, in government, in parliament, because they are there, and like, people tend to like not come out in those spaces because of that stigma that has been perpetuated by so many stories that are being told.
Sure, yeah.
Mm.
And it makes me wonder. I mean, you sometimes get into queer spaces, and you sometimes maybe feel threatened, because I mean, I've come to learn that there are queer people who can also be homophobic. And it
Yes.
was an interesting thing for me to learn, because it didn't make sense for me in the beginning that, we are here, we are fighting for the same rights, we are advocating for the same things. How is it that a queer person can be homophobic? And for
Yeah.
years it didn't really make sense to me.
Yeah. I think it's really a problem.
Thinking about what could have happened or what